Hello, I'm from McGrath and welcome to the first ever St Margaret Scotland Youth Group podcast episode. On this episode, we have Sean Henderson, James Aitken, and Lewis Patrick. How are we?
Aye, alright. Just in mid-doom territory at the moment, as we were saying when we came in, but I think everybody's the same. I think a couple of years are experiencing the doom for the first time, but it doesn't get any better until you start getting the ball rolling for the next pilgrimage. But apart from that, all good. As a teacher, I've only got 2.5 weeks left off, so I'm starting to struggle. So
I was the first couple of days I was a bit brutal in terms of the doom, but felt like a bag of washing. But now I'm starting to think about fundraising and that, like Sean said. So alright.
Aye, I think it's definitely getting back into a routine after you've been surrounded by folk for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you know what I mean? And going back to that's no easy, but till the fundraising starts in September, that'll be looking forward to it.
what about you, Finn?
I'm all good. Just the same as everyone else, try to get back to normal, try to get back into this thing of waking up later on and not 6, 7 in the morning.
Just for context, Finn invited us over for pizza, and I bought one pizza for the four of us. So a big shout out to Gennaro's Chippy, who sorted it with some chips that apparently they're the best chippy in the West, but I think everybody's got to sign up saying that they're chippy.
So Sean, George, before we get into the whole week, George, just tell us a bit about kind of your role in the trip and a bit about what it is.
Aye, so our youth group St Margaret Scotland will be going for, as many people know, since 1976. So their initially purpose, and still their purpose, is to assist the sick pilgrims in the hospitality and nursing team. Going to Lourdes every year with the Glasgow Archdiocese. So coming up for their 50 years. I've been going personally since 2013, and this year was the first year that my wife and Hayley and we are a committee. The first year of taking you guys up there. So as you boys know, it's a whole year round commitment for everybody. And it was good to get the first one under the belt, and such a good group coming out this year as well. So as you've probably seen, if you've seen across our social media pages, you can look on Facebook and all that, a lot of the stuff that we do. The photos are pretty self-explanatory, but basically it's just, like making sure you're a companion and looking after the sick as they journey through Lourdes every summer. So, and as I say, it's coming up for 50 years and still going strong. And thankfully this year, as I say, with our first year, it was no different, and it was thanks to all of you guys. As Roy Keane always says, it's the players. It's nothing to do with it. It's nothing to do with it. The leaders, it's the players. Don't get Paul McKee. Don't ever get Paul McKee to do an impression. He says like Alan Shearer when he does Roy Keane. But we couldn't do it without the young team. Although there needs to be, a team driving it and helping it throughout the year. We just couldn't do it without a good bunch of youth, and you guys were amazing as usual.
And James, how did you first year? How did you find it?
It was good. So obviously it was the tail end of last year. I think I was kind of getting involved with the youth group. I feel like I kind of knew for the first fundraiser and that was going to fit in, because I knew folk prior to going to Lourdes. I went to Lisbon last year for World Youth Day, and the Lourdes trip was just before World Youth Day itself. So when we got to Lisbon, everybody was just talking about Lourdes and how good it was. So I was just like, I need to come and see what the fuss is all about. And they were right. I know it's all cliche, like folks saying it's hard to put into words what it's like, and it is, but I think it's something you need to experience for yourself. I think that's the most I've took away from my first year.
And Lewis, it's your second year in it?
Nah, it's my second year. I think coming from going into the second year, you're not really worrying how to drive a voie tour or crashing into folk like James Aitken. I'd say it's more, come back a second year, I've definitely learned a lot more about my faith and kind of what Lourdes is properly about. It's about that togetherness, and also it's like you have an opportunity to stop and look about and see what's actually going on around you. And I feel like the first year out was just so overwhelming. And getting to look about and see the youth group, especially the torchlight procession, the 4 boys carrying it, girls carrying the candles, and kind of creating that path for everyone to go and line up. And it was just something to see, just watching everyone play their part. And it was the youth group that led it, which is a big thing. So,
Sorry, how did you pronounce that there? Was it Vater?
oh, aye,
Finn,
aye, Finn definitely needs grass done for this. So we've all been given a sheet, which is lovely of Finn, well done. And as I look along, it says Convo, Pilgrims, and then it says Waters, and it's spelled WHATTOOR.
Apostrophe.
This is what your punctuation.
That's how you say it. Wato.
How about you, Finn? Like your first year, I know you barely been in the country last year. Been to Lisbon with James and then Malawi, not that long ago actually. But how does Lourdes? You can't really. I don't think you can really compare the three trips.
No.
But how does it kind of stand up against them? If you
No, it's like you say, 3 completely different trips. Try to compare it to Lisbon is quite tough because you're not really doing much work in Lisbon. That was more holy sightseeing and stuff like that. But I mean, you can't argue against seeing the Pope.
But we did have a Pope and those with us.
Was he?
Catherine.
Terrible part. Take that out.
The Pope. I've seen the Pope, not a Pope. No, but Lourdes is completely different, from the work ethic to the bonds you build. I mean, you make friends a lot quicker because you see them every single minute of every day, so it's hard not to put up with them. Looking at
Why are you looking at me?
Did you make, just if you want to continue on for that, did you make a particular bond with somebody when you were there? All throughout the week?
Answer this wisely.
That sounded like a question with an answer already. There was a lot of people, I think, in particular, Maria, I kind of, Maria, doctor. I hope that's not too real. Just for the amount of effort she put, and I'm going to say it, pulling about me in a water, and I'll continue to reference it as a water throughout the whole podcast. She helped out a lot pulling that, which it was a big ask for her, but there was no complaints.
I sat and listened to you all day, man. It's a big ask for them.
I think I kicked you off in a minute. So I think made a good bond to her, and then the rest of the guys in the group as well. Everyone, it was natural, for the night out to, stand beside waiting to leave for your procession in the morning. It was just a natural thing. Bonding with everyone. Aye. So
I feel like when you experience if you experience the emotions that you experience on those with somebody, it makes you closer together with them as a person, just automatically. Because also Lourdes is a dead emotional place for everybody, and everybody wasn't really shy and showing their emotion, which is always a good thing. I think it's particularly special about Lourdes.
Nah, going on that as well, I'd say that it's the emotional side, but also it's the faith side. Even if people come and they don't really have a faith, you can definitely feel something there, and so you're kind of bonded by that as well.
Aye, I think from my point of view with the bonding thing, when you're trying to persuade people to come to Lourdes, I mean, after they've been once, it's an easy sell, but when you're trying to persuade people to come to Lourdes, one of the things you speak about is the friendships you make throughout the week, and I think that's hard to envisage, or people, it's hard to believe. I think, we're very, as humans, we're very like to stick with our own friends, and particularly when somewhere new, but Lourdes, it almost forces you to make those bonds, and quite naturally, without you even realising it. As the boys say, emotion comes into that quite a lot, and I think we're going to speak about it later on, but Lourdes moments, which we've spoke about a lot during Lourdes, when we were in Lourdes this week as well. So you're usually sharing those with other people, so I think that helps as well.
So I think now that we've got to know everyone in this part, we'll take a wee break and we'll come back. We'll just speak about the trip itself and just go through it. So that's how good we use.
Sounds good, mate. Let's get to these chips.
Sing it in the valleys, shout it from the mountain tops. Jesus came to save us, and the saving never stops. He is King of Kings, and new the mountaintops. Whoa, shout it from the mountaintops.
Right, so for the next part of the podcast, just for those who don't know, it's a 7-day pilgrimage, but we always start the day before and we have a prep day that lasts a whole day. So this year, we done a few different games. We done a bit of safeguarding at the start, just kind of mandatory things we need to do before we go. And I think for me personally, that got me excited for the trip. Kind of felt like it was all starting to become a bit real. So if you want to just add a bit on what you thought about the prep day.
It was a kind of eye opener to us. It was a long day. Like I can't hide that. It was like it was in Kirkintilloch. It was at 10 in the morning. You know.
Yeah,
like,
what's what you're saying about Kirky?
It was
90% of your group.
To be fair, it suited like 90% of the group.
Yeah. But it was a good introduction to the whole trip, kind of meeting, because that's the first time I really met everyone in the group, and you found out who you're going to be working with, like the groups you were in, the shifts you were doing. So that was good.
Do you like this granite prep day as well?
Oh, the Gran's always good.
Is that why you keep coming back?
That's the reason it's Lourdes. I heard they were paying breakfast, lunch and dinner. I was like, right, I'm there. I don't know who you want to shout out for the food. Where did you get your food from?
Costco.
Shout
Shout out to Costco. No, shout out to Mark for going to get the food that day. There's no excuse you could ever have for being late.
I think it's with prep day as well. It's always been, as you touched on there, fun. Just for various reasons, it's probably the first time in the whole year we get everybody in the same room. I think we try and get obviously as many people as we can at the meetings, and the meetings have been great this year. We've done a few different things, tried to change them into socials and things like that, or make it a wee bit shorter and do something else after it. But as just for different reasons, people being away for home and things like that, for uni and things, the day before we go is kind of the first time we can get everybody in the one room. So, as you say, sometimes you're seeing new faces or people that you didn't realise were going and all the rest of it, and you get to know who you're going to be working with through the week. So, I think obviously it's always quite good.
One of the funny bits for me was a couple of days before. A couple of the guys had to go. We went and we picked up kilts and we picked up a lot for other people.
Yeah.
So we had a lot left over, and there was a couple of names that we didn't know. So we just kind of scouting down the room, thinking who could this kilt be for? Just line somebody up by a name, and you're like, could it be for them? Like going up as if you're asking somebody out the first day. Could this be? Could this be your kilt?
I thought you were saying it.
Next point.
How did you feel when you got to the airport? I suppose it's the first time because you try and speak to everyone on prep day, but you don't get the chance to because there's a lot of information.
A lot of information to take in.
Exactly. And how did you feel when you got to the airport and just kind of chucked in like and you kind of start there because you were checking up people's cases.
I know. I got a wee part-time number when we were checking in. Unpaid, thanks for showing. But no, I think the excitement always starts to build when you're going away anywhere. It's different to a holiday. It's no holiday at all. But when you get to the airport, when you get to the airport, the excitement always builds, and especially when you're there with a group of folk that you know roughly. Like I didn't know if they there. Obviously, I knew a lot more people when I was coming back, but because we've spent all the time at fundraisers together and like nights out and that, you start to get excited, and then you get Lillian running about handing out sweets and all that and all. So you get it's a mix between like emotional rush and a sugar rush with her. But that's what got me excited, and then also my husband when we get through the security. That was.
Finn, young man.
Yeah.
Your experience in the airport.
I mean, I had a great time in the airport. I showed up, I said, can I have a wheelchair please? And they said, fire away. I jumped in it and as happened
And you never stopped for the rest of the week?
No, that was it. I think I came back in the same wheelchair. And Father Edward Turner.
All around those goes,
Father Toner did what he came to listen when I went with Shane, and he did the exact same. The minute I get in a wheelchair,
It
he was,
wasn't just me and Finn that went husband by with other folk.
there was a lot of us that went, but the main ones that went were me and James and
Aye.
Father Toner. But the same as last year, the minute I said, "Can I get a wheelchair?" he made it very well known, I'm the chaplain. So he jumped in with, that was his thing, I'll get a wheelchair, and I'm the chaplain for him, so I need to go with him. And we flew all the way through, so it was
It's like,
great.
Aye,
you,
you
like,
get
you
a
get
wee bag as well.
It was like, you get a fast pass for Disneyland, man. Right in the front of the queue.
I was sitting about 2 pizzas in and Liverpool. Where have you been? But I think, I mean, like, even sitting in there was a good way to get to know people because it was dead busy, so whenever you had a seat, you were kind of there beside them. So that was another good point, meeting people, which I think did help for the whole trip. By the time we got to Lourdes, it was kind of like you could just continue a conversation where you won that, and who are you? It was like,
The flight itself was good and all. Like, I think everybody was just too, wasn't they? Sleep on the flight.
aye.
We were all just walking about, talking to each other. It was good.
I think going to Lourdes, particularly for the first time, it's kind of like it's a big leap of faith and a big bit of trust because although we're a fairly well-known charity within Glasgow and in the parishes within Glasgow and people that have been, we're not like a big charity that's known in Scotland, so people are like asking people to come to Lourdes and go on a flight and with this group that they've
From
maybe
McGrath.
necessarily ever heard of. So it can be quite a nerve-wracking experience, and I don't think it's until we arrive in Lourdes and see what we're all about as a group that you would really fully settle, if that makes sense. Unless I know you guys obviously know a lot of people that were going, but even still, I can imagine it being quite daunting just until you maybe got there to see where you're going to be for the week. So,
It actually kind of hit me the amount of youth that were going. Like, when we arrived, the amount of hellos that I actually said, I thought it'd be a lot less.
You sound like an answer machine for that airport.
And the flight was another good because, as highlighted on the sheet, we had a chartered flight, which was good because we were able to walk up and down, but some random wee French woman, you can kind of do what you like in the plane within reason.
I felt I was going away in a pre-season tour or something.
And that was good. And then arriving in France, I think it was good that we landed in Lourdes and
Aye.
it was only a 20-minute bus instead
Aye,
of...
it's always good when you land for
There's a pilot over here.
No, it was good. It was a 20-minute bus journey. We were on accurate, to be fair. You kept us up with your speaker. That was nice.
You were thankful for it when you were singing away, so...
Let's just limit that. Keep up with our singing in these 4 walls. When we got to the Solly, I think it kind of struck because when we got off the bus, obviously we got off the bus in the wee main road, and it was you just see everybody walking about, everybody was buzzing. We got into the hotel, and it was like walking into the Ritzman. It was massive. It was the lobby area. It was pure nice, and kind of hung about the lobby for a while, didn't we? And
just to clarify, when Jim says solid, the hotel is solitude.
oh, sorry,
That's your last weekend coming through. That's solid.
she's a boy for me.
It sounds like a boozer. The solid. Hotel is solitude, which they done. But we hung out in the lobby for a bit, get the keys to the room, dropped the case, and just kind of. It's a bit boring sitting in a room, so you just thought, can we go and do something?
Doing that point.
I think when you arrive there, it's because you arrive, there's not really much for you to do on the Friday. The pilgrimage really kicks in the Saturday, so it can be a wee bit of a just getting to know the place and things like that. And although we've that hotel really well, it's the first time we've stayed in it, and I think everybody really liked it. But the good thing is it was central, and a lot of sick were in that hotel as well, which is good this year, and just obviously right across from us too. So I thought the hotel worked really well, and I know a few people enjoyed the pool, particularly on the last day upstairs, which was a good highlight. So, but then as I said, it doesn't really kick in until the Saturday morning, and then everybody's out in their uniform and looking resplendent, which is always a proud moment, and particularly for seeing new folk, coming out in the kilts after wrestling, mate, probably for about 20 minutes in the first one.
I think that was your saving grace that
Aye,
morning.
you were, that's one thing I'm thankful for that you're on the room with me, man, because I'd have been fighting that thing till Friday morning. I'm not the biggest fan of kilts, but you need to admit, it does look smart when you got it all in.
Aye, especially 5 minutes in when you're getting photos already.
I think you do get used to it, but don't you? You kind of forget.
Aye,
You have
the French women,
Aye.
they love kilts.
Didn't
Didn't think I was a big king on there.
you do get loads. You do get loads of photos taken.
I'm trying to buy my granny a set of rosary beads and they're coming up behind me and all that.
I know, I think I probably had
There was a wee woman in the lift that said to me, how much for your kilt? And I went, if you get like 300 quid. And she went, what?
I think the main thing for the kilts was the heat.
Aye.
My goodness,
Mhm.
your socks. What I mean, did you expect to be that? What I mean, also I had some anticipation.
I was shooting for France in July. It's not going to be cold, is it? I mean, but still, you don't expect.
It's funny how you just had that button to it. Like
Aye.
you don't think about it. I mean, even the other day when it was yesterday was roasting here, like, you think about it more here than you do.
Aye,
in the
aye.
world, don't you?
I know. Like, see, yesterday in reality it was like a cold day,
Aye.
cold day in Lourdes. Like, and, like, see, I think it was. What was it? The torchlight procession. It was
28 or
It
something.
felt like when I
think
get
it's
in the room, it felt
yeah.
like my shirt just came out of wash. It was soaking.
Aye.
And Eve really liked to point out it was just walking behind me with a pilgrim. It's a nice thing to see when you're at the front of a procession.
That was a good thing as well, getting to know a lot of the pilgrims, because we were kind of on the bus for them.
Mm.
We had a couple of them on the way there, and then you got to meet a lot of them when they were into the hotel. And I think that just grew throughout the whole week. You kind of build up a bond with a lot of them, you like quite a few people built relationships with their own pilgrims.
Yeah.
But I think the whole group just kind of bonded with everyone. We all had a good laugh. It wasn't like
Aye.
pilgrim to youth person. It was just like
I think
mates.
in some instances we pair people up for different reasons, but before we go, or they maybe had a relationship with a pilgrim previously, and the pilgrim feels quite happy with them. But in general, it's just a kind of a like getting to know them over the first few days, and then some people end up, sticking with the same person. But as you say, Finn, sometimes most of the time it just ends up, a big group, and people, the youth, are just going to look after the pilgrims as a group, and you take what different people each day.
Aye.
You want to say something, James?
No, because it was like I kind of obviously we were doing more stuff in the morning. We had mass or a service or some sort, but I think it was automatic that everybody just congregated to yam yams after it, and it was like all the pilgrims would talk to each other, all the youth group would talk to each other. Would end up. I know I had a good relationship with a couple of different pilgrims that weren't necessarily mine, and it was nice to build these bonds out throughout the week, because it does set you up with friends for life, and you end up making like connections with people that you know. It's like one of the folks say it's a small world. You end up meeting folk that you know mutually, and it's nice to see that way.
Even that, some folk that you realise sitting in the front of mass, you've never even
Aye,
properly acknowledged them. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think in terms of like, what do you think the impact is that on the sick? I mean, I think we spoke about it. We'll never know the true impact, but what do you think your presence and your companionship has an impact on them?
Because I think we are the kind of that's the reason we go into it, because like a lot of the time the sick will be back here in Scotland. They'll probably be spending most of the time themselves. But see to go out to Lourdes and have that companionship and have somebody to talk to all day, every day, it'll be special for them, which makes us as a youth group feel good. If you feel good, like helping out people in that way, helping people in any way is always good. But seeing their faces like light up when you come get them in the morning and all that, and that's what makes it worth it, I think.
Aye. I'd also say what Sean said. You don't really know the true impact, and I suppose you'll never know what truly goes on behind the scenes. But as well, I think it's mainly what it does for us as well. So I don't think you realise you can help yourself so much by helping others, which I think is really. I think that's definitely one of the things I learned this year, come back for a second time, that it's selfishly we also go to Lourdes for ourselves in a way, because it helps everyone involved, and it's through faith, and it's just through sitting having a pint. Do you know what I mean? So it definitely helps in every way.
So just touching on that kind of selfish aspect of it, I know you're using that because it's you think of yourself Lewis, but I wouldn't say it's a selfish thing because we're all going there to get something out of it. But I think just on that, I don't think the sick realise or the pilgrims realise how much the youth get out of it. And I think looking at your journey this year, Finn, in particular, when you got up and spoke about this at one of the night prayers very well. You had obviously this kind of a wee bit of Lourdes moments as well, but obviously you came as part of the youth group, but you had like a major experience when you were, well, probably a couple, but the first one you got up and you spoke about it. If you want to speak a wee bit about one of your Lourdes moments, or the one that I'm kind of speaking about in particular.
Aye, I'm gonna be sick of talking about it to people.
I'm sick of hearing it.
I just meet people in the street and all that, by the way. No, that like you said, I think everyone does have their Lourdes moments. And for me, I would say the first one really was that water ceremony. And I it's hard to get my head around why. It's like why is anything that you think of it and you're like, why was it like that? What was it that done that? But yeah, I feel better for it. I feel it's one of these weird things where you're like so happy that I done that. If I didn't, I would have been annoyed that I didn't. For context, it was one of the, unless I'm forgetting stuff, one of the first big things that we done. You know, apart from your usual, I say usual, your usual mass every day.
Which we're not complaining about, by the way.
No, we're not. We're not complaining. And then kind of, it was a bit of to try and explain it. Usually in Lourdes, one of the main things people talk about is the baths. But due to COVID, that's no longer accessible most of the time. So instead, what they do is they do the washing the hands, and then you can go after that and you get a blessing from the priest. I get a full story of Father Tona about what the full thing is. But we get a kind of mini version of it, which is still as effective. And you help the pilgrims go up first, and they get to do their water ceremony, and then we get the opportunity to do which I think we always have been annoyed at if we didn't take. And it's one of these things where the music's on the background, and throughout the whole trip the music was amazing.
Shout out to Emma Clucky for sorting that out because she's done a brilliant job just leading the music group.
Amazing.
Yeah. I have to start charging for shout-outs. I'll go do that, it's like a whole thing. Music in the background thing, it's a very kind of intimate, it's almost a personal thing, an intimate thing. But at the same time you share that experience with about 80 other people at the same time. And for me, it was just as I was walking up, and you start to kind of feel emotional as you're kind of looking at the altar and the kind of statues around it. And Lourdes is great for that, like kind of just the architecture seems amazing. But as I'm going up, you can just kind of feel yourself getting that kind of lump in your throat and you're thinking, where's that coming from? And then Sean, it was you that just turned towards me. And before I said anything, I think I almost ripped your head off and I kind of grabbed him. And it was like, it was only for a solid 2 minutes, but it did feel like, I don't know how long it felt like for you. You might have been get off us.
For breath.
I know you're upset, but let go. And he kind of walked up with me, and I could see the priest I went up to, and she's kind of like, I think he must have thought, oh God, we could be here ages. We try to get this out. But I think I took my blessing and I sat back down and I thought, you could almost feel like a weight lifted in a sense.
Aye.
Because I think it'd been built up as well over the past couple of days, going to mass and taking it all in. And like, you can't deny that you're tired because just the heat and the walking and the times in the morning and everything just builds up. And on top of that, you're still thinking about where you are and why you're there. So it kind of all builds.
I see, just touching on a lot of emotional experiences in Lourdes. I think one in particular for myself was the anointing service. So that's when it's kind of like a regular mass, and then you've obviously got all the pilgrims and the sick lined up across the front. in their waters and their wheelchairs. Then some of the youth group get given the opportunity to be anointed, which I'm dead grateful for, and I took that. Thankfully took that, because I think I would have regretted it forever. But basically what happens is the priest gets assigned to like a row of people. There was, 7 or 8 priests up in the altar, and then you get to go along the row. You get anointed, so the priest will put his hands on your head, give you a blessing, and then he'll come round again and he marks the palms of your hands and then your head with oil. So it's basically, I think the whole meaning behind it is just to kind of offer up your whatever you've been struggling with. And as I said, I'm dead grateful for that opportunity, and that's when I started getting emotional, because I don't know what it is about it, but I think it's everything that's kind of built up over the last few years, and it's all the emotions just came out, and it was like a whole overwhelming thing. And after it, I just felt, you walk out and you feel like you've been born again. It's like the weight of the world's just been lifted off your shoulders. And I think I can speak for a lot of people when they say something changed that day. It was brilliant. It was definitely worthwhile doing.
Sorry, Finn, you
No, you go.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's just you two boys talking about that as well, just shows that we kind of speak about this all year round as well, like Lourdes has touched on previously about the aspect of the youth getting something out of it, and also within the youth group you don't know what's going on in people's lives, and often you don't know what's going on in people's lives until they get there. And you know, as they say, like not all illnesses or not all struggles are visible. So and you know, people still don't need to know that, but usually the anointing of the sick, you know, things maybe come to your attention because of the nature of it, and it's good because then people within the youth group can offer support or whatever, or sometimes people like yourselves maybe open up a wee bit more. So it's just as important for the youth group as it is for the assisted pilgrims that we take these services like that. So
I think it can be sometimes, like from the outside, it can be seen as a bit confusing, because they tell people for the anointing of the sick. For those who maybe don't look into it, I think you get an anointment, and then that kind of you run free.
Mhm.
Like, and honestly, I had that in the back of my head. I get the anointing, and I think, imagine that guy gets up, and then I'm just like, I can fly or something after I'm anointed. But it's for me, initially, it's a strange process. Like June said, they come up and they kind of put your hand on your head, and at that point, I was thinking, like, in here. At that point, I was thinking, and then when they do the actual anointing, and you know that they're finished, that's, for me, kind of.
Everyone just flushes out, doesn't it?
Aye, and it's showing every time. By the way, everything's showing near me.
It was Lourdes for me. Lourdes for me. I was just donning myself, and then I see him walking the corner. He's greeting like a Christmas card, man. That just sets me off. It's good that you can spend emotional experiences like that with people that you're close to, because that's what really makes a trip for. Obviously, apart from the helping the pilgrims and that's what makes you closer to the people that you're spending the trip with.
For the next part, we're just going to talk about our trip memories. Altogether, and I think Finn asked a lot of the group as well what the memories were. I think I'll start off with mine, and I'll pick Peter Conroy's as well. Mine was, there was so many of mine. Just watching everyone, and I think all the newbies coming in, being so proud of them, how they did just come in and not even learn to drive a water till that morning. But the main one for me was James getting anointed, obviously. It's just such a big moment for James, obviously. I'd say it's a big moment for our friendship as well. Something that I'll keep with me for the rest of my life.
big moment for Kirky.
one small step for peace, one massive step for cricket. I know, that's definitely up there. But reading off a Finn's sheet, you spelt his name right. His was Finn carrying the cross.
Peter Conroy, mate, it's not hard to spell.
Carrying the cross around the hotel.
That was an impromptu thing. It was. We were sitting
I
around.
didn't lapse it.
We were sitting around waiting, and they were talking away, and I just kind of stopped for a minute. And I just seen the cross sitting in the corner. I thought, do you know what? I can do with carrying that. So I went in and picked it up, and I just. And I
Catholic pilgrimage.
I slowly walked it round the room. You know, I made sure everyone got a good look.
You went through every station, I know, didn't you?
Auditioning for next year's stage.
The 2 falls, but that wasn't really planned. That was just the 3. I felt it was. So
You try to say.
unplanned.
What would you share your moment, your favourite memories where James or
I'd say I've got a couple in all, man. It was obviously the torchlight procession was my kind of first experience. It made me realise how well respected the youth group is in Lourdes, because being asked to lead something like that is massive, I think. And like when we're all lining up to get ready to go, and we've got a wee candles with the yellow bit around them, we're lighting them for each other. One of the poor priests that came is a pilgrim, and nearly lit him on fire in the process of doing it. But apart from that,
He's okay, by the way.
He's alright, aye.
Yes, alright.
And if you're listening, I
Don't try
apologise. But other than that was a good night. And so I think Green and White Night as a whole was good, because it was kind of halfway through the week. Everybody was still kind of getting to know each other, but I think getting everybody in that environment at the same time together, everybody took a turn to have a song, like sing a song. It was a dead like in the moment thing. And I think everybody enjoyed it, as far as I know anyway, because it was a brilliant night. I think it really solidified the friendships in the group. Everybody was taking turns at talking to each other, and it was just a brilliant night all in all. So they were probably my 2 best memories for
Shout out to Paul McGee for the
It's brilliant. Super.
really good.
I mean, I never thought you could actually barely the same line over and over. Getting up my chair and shouting for your entertainment tonight. Do you know, at the start of the night, I thought that could be really annoying. And then by the end of it, I was like,
Joining in.
shout it again. Shout it for the sake of it. Sean, have you got any memories?
I think just the kind of couple of things the boys have touched on. The theme of the year was to process the Lourdes. One of the things the old ladies told Bernadette to go and tell folk to come to Lourdes, basically. And procession has always been a key theme in Lourdes, but we were asked to kind of really concentrate on that this year. And I think as years and years have went past, the SMSYG Scotland Youth Group have always been front and centre of the processions in Lourdes. And when we took over, I kind of worried that things wouldn't carry on, or we wouldn't be able to keep up that tradition. One of my big anxieties about taking over the group. We didn't want to let anybody down. We wanted to make sure it didn't look wholly different, although year to year Lourdes is different, but we wanted to keep the traditions going, and to see I was privileged enough, Kev Toner managed to sort that. I carried across at Torchlight, which was just amazing, but because I was at the front, you couldn't really see anybody until you got onto the altar, and just seeing it, so many of the youth group involved in leading that procession was probably one of my highlights of the week, and to see that the SMSYG Scotland Youth Group will live on, and despite changes at the top, it'll live on, and it's still alive and well. And again, as I say, the players.
I thought it was very funny when you see the other 2 Sean, so I want to get it right, but I think it was Sean Donnelly, and I only know the other one is wee Sean.
There was 5 there.
There was about 5, but 2 of them were up, and they were Sean on the stairs.
Sean Donald, Sean Thompson.
Sean Donald and Sean Thompson done like 2 security guards. The way they were just hand behind the back, clasped, and it was just.
Got some good photos, but
Some very good photos.
Another highlight for me was the Euros final. Let's just leave that one there.
That was, I think that was the only night that I was happy to keep my kilt on.
You had a few renditions of Flower Scotland at the top of their carry.
I think one of the memories for me, which actually was not spoken about, was we had a party up on the roof at Ekai with the pilgrims, which I think they really did appreciate because I think that was the first time because obviously you spend the whole day with them, but there's a lot of kind of formalities behind it where you're pushing them or you're making sure, that they're seated right or they get their food. But that kind of night, it was almost as if they just sat with us and like they got to, eat grand the same food. I know that sounds weird.
I didn't get any food when you were about anyway, and you cleaned all the plates.
They get a nice glass of water. I was doing the games.
The Kai Grand Prix.
The Kai Grand Prix. But James led brilliantly.
James McGeechy done well.
Yeah, he done great, kind of comparing that whole thing. Doing like egg and spoon races, I thought that's never going to work in like a wheelchair or a wattle. But it went well, and it was like great last year. That was a big memory for me.
I feel like everything in general on the trip just flowed together brilliantly. I don't think I could ask for a better first year than that. It was brilliant. I think I can speak for most of the newbies, and when I say this, most people, every day I spoke to said they wouldn't change up one bit. Yeah, maybe brought a couple of extra pairs of coat socks, but other than that, I don't think I would have changed anything about it.
Yeah,
I think that comes from Sean for your first year. So
congratulations.
good gear around the applause, but what can I?
You can do it when you're listening to this.
Aye.
Roy Keane would be disgusting.
It's his job.
What's he doing? Card tricks?
But yeah, just to end the episode, we want to just first of all thank everyone for listening. I want to thank you guys for coming on, setting the standard very high for.
Thanks for the
take back transfer and cash for man.
It covers your pizza.
Thanks, Finn.
Thanks, Finn.
Thank you.
Thank you.